Hello, everyone. Welcome to Heart Center Tarot. As always, my name is Marina, and I will be your guide for this portion of the journey. Welcome. So, if you are returning, I'm very glad you're here. I hope that you will find benefit in what you find, and I hope that the reading that I'll be doing is going to give you some insight and so on. And if you're new here, well, thank you for being here. Thank you for stopping by. If you find value, please submit, please like, and share the video with family and friends, because that's what we do. So, anyway, I thought I would get on here on January 6th. Of course, it's the first anniversary of horrible riots on the Capitol last year in the U.S. And I just wanted to sort of take a look at some of that and kind of get a little bit of a feel of the energy that I'm getting. I'm sort of feeling a little nervous, and I'm thinking that that could very well be the collective energy. And I don't know if this is a nervousness for what's to come, or if it's sort of nervousness that we have been living with and anticipating the last few days about what could happen, what might happen on the first anniversary, and so on. And now that we're almost sort of nothing has happened, it's like a sigh of relief. So I'm not exactly sure which one it is. So I thought, well, we'll take a look at the cards and just see what they have to say. So I thought I would look at that. I also thought that, I'd check in with Ghislaine Maxwell, and how her lawyers want a mistrial and a new trial, and a poor persecuted woman. So anyway, we'll take a look at that. I also very quickly wanted to take a look at the situation in Kazakhstan and how that might play into what Putin has been dealing with. And also, I sort of feel like I need to comment on Novak Djoikocic, right? Yeah, Novak Djoikocic, a tennis player whose visa into Australia has been cancelled, and his mother is shocked beyond belief and can't understand why her son, the apple of her eye, the bringer of joy, is being treated like a prisoner. So, you can probably already guess my feelings on that. Anyway, I'll take a look at those here in a second. So we'll start off with January 6th. And for this reading, besides my own cards, I'm going to be using the Tarot Grand Deluxe by Chiara Marchetti. Here, I'll show you. This is the box, and the cards are just phenomenal. So every once in a while I feel like I need to work with the deck, even though that Golden Art Nouveau, besides my own deck, that's my favorite. That's the one that I go to. So let's take a look at that. And thank you for those of you who left a comment about the astrology reading. I welcome the comments and the encouragement. And I'm still, when it comes to that, I'm still trying to locate places in my house that I can um, do the recording so that you see the cards. So I'm walking around all over the place trying different things and so on and so forth and blah, blah, blah. So bear with me. Alrighty. Well, before we get started, I want to do the reading prayer. And as always, feel free to join in. And if it's not your thing, that's just fine. Think of something wonderful that makes you happy. So, deep breath in and exhale. I call on my guides, ancestors, angels, and ascendant masters to protect me as I receive and deliver these messages from Universal Spirit. May this reading and the messages provided be guided by and delivered with love, clarity, and truth. Reveal to me what should be known now, and keep for me what should remain secret. Guide me to always manifest the highest possible good for myself, my spiritual family, and humanity at large. Amen. Okay. Ready to go. I even decided to bring coffee in with me just because it's cold outside. And I've been noticing that sometimes if I'm reading on something uncomfortable, my throat starts to sort of close up and get very dry. So having cold liquids didn't seem to work. I thought I'll try something hot. And there you go. There's that university education paying off in spades. So, alrighty. January 6th. Biden made a speech today, a very, very important speech, I think. And he was quite right. And of course, at this point, he's preaching to the choir. I mean, the other side isn't really listening. They don't care. They've been indoctrinated and all that for entertainment purposes, only YouTube. So yeah, he said, you can't love your country only when you win. And it's true. It's true. It's do you love your kids only when they're being good? No, you love them regardless of what they do. And sometimes you reward them, sometimes you have to admonish them. That's what a good parent does. And that's what helps that child to grow. And that's what Uncle Joe did, right? That's basically what he's telling us. So, January 6th, I don't know that I would concentrate on so much on, I'm a patriot. No, you're not. I'm a patriot. No, you're not. The U.S. is looking at losing democracy. The shining beacon on the hill that the rest of the world looks up to has, over the past year, exposed themselves to being more concerned about the financial bottom line than with the lives of its citizens. Now, I say that knowing full well that it is not the case with everyone, and that there are people down in the U.S. who are just as frustrated as I am with their own system. And they are working their butts off to make sure that democracy is protected, that it is saved, that it will remain sort of the gold standard. So I get that. I'm just, as I say, really frustrated with those who drank the Kool-Aid and who continue to deny what happened. Okay? So, I fully support President Biden. I fully support what the Democrats are trying to do. So, my first question is, will the January 6th Commission, will they start recommending charges within the next 3 months? You know, you can't let this go on for years. Like, I understand caution. I understand the need to get it right, because really you get one kick at the can. But are we going to start seeing people being held responsible, and people like senators, congressmen, and so on, within the next 3 months? So, what do we have? We have the Ace of Cups. We have the Two of Cups. We have the High Priestess. Let me just move these a little bit. We have the Six of Wands. And we have the Tower. I think that the answer is yes. Yes, we are going to see something within the next 3 months. That charges are going to be coming down. That the people causing the riots, those that were involved in the riots, those that furthered that insult to injury, excuse me, they are going to have their Tower moment. And the Magician at the bottom of the deck on there, they are going to get their Tower moment, and all their associations and who they were dealing with, who was involved. So yes, I think that they are going to, over the next 3 months, start holding people accountable. I just want to check with my cards and see if I can get an idea as to who might be first. Who might be first in this? Crawley. Why am I getting Crawley? Oh well. Okay. Not your issue. Power. It's okay. And someone in power. Ask again. So I might have to rephrase that. Child. And addiction. Okay. All right. So, someone in power who is acting very childish and who has a problem with addiction. And again, entertainment purposes only, YouTube. I'm thinking I'm thinking, what's his name? Gates? Matt Gates? The pretty boy who acts like he's spoiled little toddler. So, yeah, I think Gates could very well go down first. Alrighty. Okay, so we are going to start to see things, which is good, because, as I say, I don't want this to drag on, and punishment for such action has to be just, it has to be swift, and it has to be equal, right? So, okay, next thing that I want to know is everyone expected that Trump was going to say something today, and honestly, if it ever comes out, if what he said today ever comes out, let me save you the time, and I'll tell you what he's going to say, okay? Because this is, same song, first verse, same as second verse. The election was stolen. Joe Biden isn't the president. I didn't start the riot. Those were just angry people who knew that Biden had stolen the election, and they were just voicing their opinion, and fake media made it worse than it really was. And I had nothing to do with it. I wasn't even there, okay? I was off somewhere else. So anyway, why did we not hear from Trump today? I suspect that he was probably at Mar-a-Lago, heavily sedated, because, you can't, he could never pass up an opportunity to be the superstar and the look at me, and Joe Biden is speaking, no, don't pay attention to Joe, pay attention to me. So that's what I think, is he probably sedated. So what was Trump doing today? Here we go, the the Five of Cups. We've got the Three of Cups. We have got this is the King of Coins. Do you know how rich I am? I'll tell you how rich I am. I'm so rich. We have got the Queen of Swords. Doesn't she look mighty? Oh, and we have got, this is coins. This is, I believe, the five of coins. I'm not wearing my glasses. So there. So, yes, yeah. Poor Donald is just, he's absolutely, yeah, 10 of Swords on the bottom, okay. He is just very, very saddened by what is going on, and how dare those Republicans celebrate when they know darn well that they stole the election, because It's all about the money, and everybody knows I'm the king of money. I'm so rich. Even God comes to me for a loan. That's how rich I am. And just you just wait till the truth comes out. It'll come out that I whine, and don't let anyone tell you I'm broke. So, what was Trump doing today? You know what? Living in a fantasy world, and trying to figure out how he's going to get out of all this and turn it into a positive. When I think it's beginning to dawn on him that things are not going well. Things are not going to go well. Everyone is going to discover, if they haven't already, they soon will be. And as I've said many times in the past, right now for Trump, if a trip around the world was a nickel, he doesn't have enough to raise the down payment. So that's why Trump is quiet. And I think, yeah, you know what? I'm getting the feeling with the Queen of Swords that, yeah, he was probably literally sedated. The spear, the jab, whatever. And, yeah. Poor Donald. So, but I'm sure that he's going to come out, and we're going to hear over the next few days what he was going to say. I mean, he's not going to leave the moment. So, let's see, what else do we have here? Also want to take a look at the people who were at the Capitol today, who were there to observe the anniversary of September, yeah, who were there for the January 6th riot last year. There was only 2 Republicans that showed up. Out of all the Republicans out there, and I think this screams volumes about their Republican morality, their sense of fairness. They really, truly are. They're corrupt. Absolutely corrupt to the core. And I say that with all love in my heart. And yes, entertainment purposes only, YouTube. But I'm expressing my opinion, and I have a right to do so. I'm a human being, and I have a right to express my opinion. But I think they're all corrupt. So, only 2 Republicans showed up. 2. And that was Liz Chaney and her dad, Dick Chaney. I don't know what everybody else was doing, where everybody else was, but there was a moment of silence for the victims who passed away during that insurrection. And none of the other Republicans could find a moment to come in and to express their sadness over the loss of a human life. That, to me, is pond scum. And, I can come from a place of love. I can come from a place of nurturing and all that. it doesn't mean that I need to be blind. It doesn't mean that I need to see everything with rose-colored glasses. I can still be compassionate, and I can still be loving, and I can still be all the great things that that I know the universe wants me to be. But I'm also honest. And I also have to speak my truth. And that is my truth. That is the sadness that the Republican Party is not what they used to be. I think they died with it's gone out of my head now. It'll come to me, and I'll the thumbs down, John McCain. Oh, forgive me. Yeah, I think all decency died with him. So, Dick Cheney said he is deeply, deeply I think exasperated, or he's just very saddened by the party that, and I mean, he was vice president. So anyway, I'd like to know if are there any other Republicans that are going to start coming forward, that are going to start naming names, so that we will have a better sense of who's involved, and hold them to account. Hold them to account. Make the elections fair. And if they need to be voted out of office, vote them out of office. If you want to keep them in office, at least know what you're keeping. At least know what you're voting for. Okay? So, will we have, are there other Republicans who are going to start holding the party to account? Okay. Queen of Wands. Where are you? Three of Coins. The Page of Cups. We've got the Seven of Cups. And we've got the World. The Fool at the bottom of the deck. Okay. So, my sense is that slowly, they are going to start to seek change, and they're going to be looking for new leadership. I do not see Mitch McConnell in charge for much longer. Things are definitely going to change. The illusion of what the Republicans are now versus what they were before, the fact that they no longer represent what they say they represent, is very much going to come to light, particularly I'm thinking in the midterms. I think that they are going to lose quite a few seats. And even despite the gerrymandering and everything else, I think most people realize that, they've heard the phrase, this is the most important election ever. Well, it really truly is. These are the steps that you have to take to regain your full democracy, to regain your full sovereignty. You have to hold these people accountable, and the way to do that is to get out there and vote. Okay, make sure that you take someone with you to vote. Um, don't be put off by the lines. I mean, better to wait in line now than to be forced to wait in line later. At least make this your choice. So encourage everyone to vote and remove as many Republicans as possible. And then I think that there will be an opportunity for change when the people that are currently there now, when they are removed and when they are replaced, I think there is an opportunity for Republicans to get back to the sort of the core of what they were before. And don't be surprised if Liz Chaney if she is leading that battle. I think after she's done with January 6th, the more that the good old boys try to hold her down, the more that she is just going to become determined, and that girl going to put her walking boots on. And she going to walk all over you. So there. Yeah, I think things will change. It's not going to happen overnight. But I think that, that things are going to have to change. I mean, they are going to have to change. So with that in mind, let me take a look. Republicans. Oh my goodness. Did any of you see the video of Ron DeSantis? Or some people call him D-Satan? Yeah, he most certainly is. Boy, oh boy, what they say about most politicians. How can you tell when they're lying? Their lips are moving. Yeah, this guy is the epitome of that. I don't know who's worse, him, Ted Cruz, Donald Trump. I mean, these people they lie at the drop of a hat, just because. Yeah. But anyway, so here he was. It was about a 2.5 minute video of Ron, who was in front of, I think, like a manufacturing board or something, manufacturing conference anyway, something to do with manufacturing. And he was giving $6 million to this particular company for their I can't remember what it was now. Anyway, so he's giving them $6 million. What he forgot to say is that actually Biden gave the $6 million. All that DeSantis did was take credit for it. And I'm sure that if there was a vote on it, I can guarantee you he voted against it. But, now he's going to take the credit. So that's why I'm giving. How generous. The thing about the video is the man looks sick. Like physically sick. And when nobody kind of knew where he was for the last little bit and whatnot, entertainment purposes only, but I swear to you, he got the Rona. He most certainly does. And is he suffering? Well, he was having an awful hard time breathing. You could tell how labored his breathing was. And I mean, it wasn't like he spoke for an hour and a half. But I mean, he hung on to that podium, and his words were sort of measured and few. And yeah, he just looked like he'd been really suffering. So, the first thought that came to my mind is, geez, I wonder if they gave him a dose of ivermectin. Maybe he took that. Maybe it was bleach and it didn't work yet, so they're waiting for something else. And then I remembered, I think it was Ted Cruz, who was commenting on, well, did you notice that ever since COVID came around, nobody suffers from a cold or the flu or anything like that anymore? Everybody's got COVID. And I thought, well, Mr. DeSantis, that's a nasty sounding cold you have. Hope that flu doesn't turn into pneumonia, because that's not good. And still, the man insists that no, he's just fine. The people around him, not one mask to be seen anywhere, so he's not worried about infecting them. I wonder how his wife feels, because apparently she's got cancer. So I'm sure that she's probably thrilled to death to have him around. So, DeSantis, tell me. Oh, and I'm going to use my cards. I'm being told to use my cards. Okay. Do you currently have COVID? Do you currently have, or have you recently had COVID? Institution. Dreams will manifest soon. Maybe. Synchronicity. Surprise. I think that yes, he does. And the reason that I say that is institutions, for me, or that can be a government building, it can be a hospital, it can be a jail, it can be university, any large institution. So I think that boy was hospitalized. I'm sure he wasn't isolating at home. Dreams will manifest soon. You know what? This is kind of almost, I get a feeling of karma. Like for those people who have been suffering. It's like they said, well, you don't know how we feel, and the universe heard. So, synchronicity, this is, everything happens for a reason, and it happens in its own time, and it happens when it has the most impact and all that kind of good stuff. So I'm not surprised to see synchronicity here, because it's You know, I don't want to say he deserves it, but he did kind of manifest it, with. And the surprise, yeah, surprise. The guy who kept telling you that you don't need to mask, you don't need to vaccinate, you don't need to take any special precautions, you just carry on with your life because it's just a common cold, it's just a flu, there's nothing to worry about. Why is everybody panicking? I think he's panicking. I think he is panicking. And expect delays. He's not going to recover soon. Uh, Lucky Charms, he's hoping that, the doctors are going to come up with something that is going to work very quickly. Not your issue. Oh, it's like, okay. What I heard in my head was, shut up, you don't know what you're talking about. Would, and in that male voice, it's like, yeah, got nothing to do with you. Don't look here, look over there. And again, power, yeah, and child. So, yeah, I think that this recovery is not. Um, it's not going to happen quickly. So be it. So be it. And as I say, I certainly don't wish ill on anyone, but what you put out, you get back tenfold. So, okay. Maxwell. Ghislaine Maxwell's lawyers want a new trial because one of the jurors who was being interviewed had said that he had been abused as a child, and that he spoke to the other jurors, particularly when it came to memory, and kind of explained to them the how it works, whatever, with him. And he had basically said, look, there are some details that I am 1,000% on, and I will know exactly, and I can recall every single detail. And then there's other details that are a little more fuzzy. I don't see anything wrong with that. Honestly, I don't see anything wrong with that. So, but her lawyers, well, they want a mistrial because, this juror maybe didn't state that and whatnot. First of all, it's nobody's business, right? If whatever your condition is, you do not identify yourself with your condition. You are not your condition. So it was not up to this particular juror to say, by the way, sexual abuse survivor. That was his business. If he wanted to share it, he could. If he didn't want to share it, he didn't have to. So, and then you go to the questionnaire. Okay, the jury questionnaire. If he was specifically asked on that questionnaire, were you ever sexually abused as a child? And he didn't answer that honestly. If he said, nope, never, perfect childhood, well, then, you might have to go back and um, re examine what he had said. But if he answered yes, and her lawyers didn't challenge him on that, that's not his problem. That's not the prosecutor's problem. That's bad lawyering. If he was never asked, he didn't have to volunteer. If during the interview, when you do the questionnaire and they go through it and whatnot, he was never asked, apparently, whether or not he was ever sexually abused as a child. So, it's kind of like, how do you know what you don't know? Right? One of those. So, if nobody asked him the question, is he obligated to stand up and identify himself as that? If I'm trying to think of another example that we could kind of look at, but I think you know what I'm getting at, right? Is if the defense didn't do a good job, if they made mistakes, it's not the prosecutor's fault. It's not this juror's fault. It's not the fault of the judge. It's not the fault of the verdict. It's, maybe there was a question that you forgot to ask, and now it's like, oh shit, what do we do? Well, your girl's going to spend the rest of her life in jail anyway. And I said that from the beginning. I said that months ago, that she was going to jail. I knew they were going to find her guilty. And in fact, when I pulled the cards, I think during one of my earlier readings, the guilty card actually came out. So, okay. So poor Maxwell, is she going to get a new trial? Just going to do this very quickly and see what the cards say. Is she getting a new trial? We've got the Six of Swords. You're going up the river, sweetheart. Sorry. The Devil. The Hierophant. Really, do I need to go anymore? The Three of Coins. Your associations, what you were doing. And the King of Swords. The truth comes down on you, sweetheart. I don't see this as no. I don't think that it's going to work. I don't think she's going to get a mistrial. I think that her lawyers are going to wave the banner and make a lot of noise. But the truth about what she has done is out there. You can't escape that. So the only thing that she might be able to do at this time is to lessen the amount of time she spends in jail, because she's not getting out. She's not going to walk out a free woman. I think. Never mind what I think. I think you know what I think. The only thing that she could do at this point is maybe, barter or try to make some deals with the prosecution in terms of, where she will serve her sentence, how difficult it's going to be, what, if any, kind of perks she might have, who she may or may not see. What she may or may not have access to. I mean, and who she could name, right? If she gives up names, I'm sure that they would probably be willing to look at it. So, okay, you know what? Instead of serving 65 years, you give up the names and the information on the other people involved, and okay, so we'll look at 30 years. Well, the woman just turned 60. Is she going to be alive in 30 years? Probably not. So, no, she is not going to be getting a new trial anytime soon, which is too bad, so sad. You know what? If you can't do the time, don't do the crime. Remember that from the old days? Okay. And very quickly before I let you go, Novak Djoikocic, tennis player, who thought everything was okay with his visa, did not comply with the requirements of the visa in terms of either being vaccinated or providing whatever it is that the Australian government set out as a mandated guideline. So when you decide that the laws of another country apply to everyone but to you because you're special, and they don't play your game and they say, sorry, my bat, my ball, my ballpark, get out. Don't whine about how you've been mistreated. Don't have your mom get on TV and say, oh my God, he's, being treated like a prisoner, like he's a criminal. Actually, he kind of is. He kind of is. If the law says that this is what you need and you decide to skirt around it, it's called breaking the law. And that makes you criminal. Sorry, Novak. Anyway, is this going to affect his ability to be able to compete in other tournaments? What do we have for Novak? We've got the Three of Wands. We have got the Five of Wands. Insult to injury. Yeah, well. We have got the Magician. We have got the Knight of Coins. And we have got who is this? The Five of Swords. I think it is going to have certainly an effect on his ability to be able to participate in other tournaments. Those are held generally around the world in different places. He has very clearly identified himself as someone who is not willing to abide by the laws of a nation. So he is going to be scrutinized more than perhaps the average person. It's a price you pay for having made the decision that you did. He's going to try to look for all kinds of ways to get out of this, like just I didn't know, one of my associates, one of my assistants should have done this and this, but they didn't, and that's why I'm in this predicament, and that's why I'm kind of being, I'm being punished financially for that, when the truth is it's somebody else, it's not me. And insult to injury, like, yeah, I think it is going to have an effect on his ability to be able to participate in other tournaments. So, okay, and just again, very, very quickly, I forgot all about Kazakhstan, but I'm kind of curious about Kazakhstan because this is going to be a distraction for Vladimir. So I'm going to go to my cards. Excuse me. And Kazakhstan, is the situation in Kazakhstan going to get worse? There was a lot of people that were out sort of rioting and protesting and whatnot, because the government there has been ruled basically by bribery and cronyism and all that kind of good stuff. And so, entertainment purposes only. I have to keep saying that because we all know, but whatever. So, yeah, the people are angry. They've been promised things over and over and over again. Everybody says, "Oh, no, better things are coming," and we're going to do this and we're going to do that, and thanks for bringing it to my attention, and I'll get right on it. And the minute you walk out of the office, goes in the shredder, and that's that. So, anyway, this is going to be sort of a diversion for Putin. He doesn't want this. He doesn't know what to do with this, because now it takes the eye off of the Ukraine, and that's not what he had planned. So, in Kazakhstan, are the protests, are they going to be effective in turning things around for the people? Addiction, just like I said, yeah, they operate on bribes. Synchronicity. I've got turmoil. See the lesson. And forgive. Okay. So, yes, absolutely. It has caused a lot of turmoil. It will continue to cause a lot of turmoil because the people that are in charge simply refuse to see what's going on. They're filling their own pockets. And they think that this is just going to continue on and on and on and on. The addiction to power, the addiction to money, it's not going to serve them well. And oddly enough, with this forgive card, what I'm getting is not legal protection, but verdicts can be bought. That the justice isn't really justice. That justice depends on how much money you're able to throw at a problem, which is unfortunate. I think that's going to cause institutions. Oops, let me grab this. Accept the truth. Secrets revealed. Let it go. Dog park energy. Yeah, because there is so much corruption within the institutions, the politicians and the people involved are going to have to accept the truth of the fact that, yeah, this is not a good way to manage a country. This is not a good way to do business. I think a lot of people are going to be leaving. A lot of people are going to be given forceful correction, and there are going to be secrets revealed about who's who, what's what, who did what, and so on. People are going to start pointing fingers and start talking, mostly to save themselves, because that's what they do. So, unfortunately, I think this is going to be a bigger problem for Putin than he thought. So, that is that, my friends. I will let you go. I will thank you for being here. And again, if you have any questions, any comments, leave them below. Reach out to me at heartcenteredtarot@outlook.com. Again, that'll be in the description below. If you'd like to book a personal reading, or if you'd like to get information on how the readings are done, don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to share the video. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up, like. So, until next time, you have a great day. You have a super, next few days. And I'll see you next time. Bye.